Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another kind of tips and tricks for Instagram photo editing type vibe. This one is going to be the how to have an Instagram feed. How to have a cool Instagram feed. Yeah, how to have a cool Instagram feed. Clearly haven't thought of the title yet, but I get so many questions about like how to have a cool feed, like as a whole, not just editing. I've only ever really done editing like specific photos. I have touched on the subject and touched on the things that I like to do personally, but I haven't done like any like proper tips on it, and I do get so many questions about it because I think it's hard because I'm showing you how I edit my photos, and I know that a lot of you just like to follow how I edit my photos to get your feed, but then you message me like, oh, I'm following what you're doing, but it doesn't look like your feed. And it is more, the actual general feed is more down to like the layout and the planning of it rather than the editing of each individual photo. Although obviously that does matter a lot, but you can edit a photo exactly like mine, for example, but it doesn't necessarily mean your feed is going to look like mine because of the photo layout. Does that make sense? Wow, that was really, really long. I hope that made sense. I'm going to put my phone next to me here, as always, because it's just so much easier to show you like what I'm talking about when I'm showing you what I'm talking about, you know? So here's my phone. The first tip I want to talk about, and which I think maybe might make it clearer for most people, is kind of like the composition of each photo and how to fit it into your theme. So first of all, this is my Instagram page currently. This is how it looks. I haven't changed much. A lot of you actually have asked me saying, well, what have you changed? What have you changed? I actually haven't changed how I edit my photos at all. I think the only thing that's different is obviously I'm wearing a lot of red right now. Like I just really like wearing red, so I have incorporated that into my feed. But that's more just clothing. And I'm going to touch on that subject in a second as well. But I guess maybe my images are, especially like this section here, they're a bit more busy, my images, which I actually really like. I like more background stuff right now rather than before. I was a lot more just like plain white walls. I actually prefer more stuff in the background in my photos now, so that's something I maybe have changed, but it's nothing to do with editing photos. I promise you it is exactly the same as my last video. Okay, so I'm going to go on Insta size purely because on here you can actually move photos around to show you what works best. But first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just convert all of these photos into black and white, and you'll see why. So let's just quickly convert them. Okay, so now that all the photos are black and white, I thought this would be a much easier way to kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about, because I think sometimes when I'm showing you photos and it's all so like colourful, I'm just trying to strip it back to the basics first to show you certain things. So this is it in black and white. It's much easier to see the overall feel of the page, like where the lights are, where the darks are. That's what I'm talking about by composition. For example, you wouldn't particularly want to put like that one. Let's have a look. That one. See, to me, you wouldn't really want to put, like, you see this top row here? You wouldn't really want to put all of those together because they're all quite similar-ish. I mean, the one on the end is not so much, but definitely these two here next to each other are very similar tones. Can you see what I'm talking about? They're both very, like, there's lots of grey, there's not much white, there's not much black either. They're both kind of grey. Whereas, like, this one, for example, has more contrast. There's, like, lots of white and dark. So that fits better in between those two. I also, as you know, I would never put, like, a selfie next to a selfie. So I would never put, for example, like... annoying. I would never put this top row here. I would never put that because all those photos are quite similar and they're similar composition. You've got my face in them. It just doesn't work. So you need to split it up. So I always try to do, say, like this one's bright next to a more busy grey one, and then next to a clean black one. So like this top row. That looks way better. It actually probably would look even better with that one. No, it wouldn't. But like that. And then once you've done your, obviously your top row, you then also need to look at the row that's going to go above it, or in this case it looks below, but it would be above. So you could put, so this one here is quite white, so it would actually look really cool with a more darker contrast one underneath. So this one. Then this one is very grey, but it's not a selfie, so we could go with a selfie under here. So this selfie would work, but it also works next to that one because it's kind of, actually this one would work better. Yeah, that one works better. And then under that one, I would consider a black, like a really solid black. I would actually swap those because these are actually fairly similar. This one and this one are both quite grey, and this one are both white and black. So that is how I would go with those that top row. Does that make sense? So you've got like a white-ish image with like quite bright and not super darks in it. Then you've got a more grey-scaled image which is quite busy and is not super contrasty, it's just quite busy and grey. And then you've got a contrasty one that's got a lot of black and white in it. And then you go down below to fit the above. Yeah, so I think that kind of makes more sense when you look at it like that, and when you look at it as a whole. So something like that would work because it's, when you look at, I always do this, if you look at it from afar, because if you're like this, it's quite hard to see, but take a look back and kind of squint your eyes a bit, and you can see, yeah, that kind of works. There's a good even spread of lights and darks, like even spread of spaces and subject. I hope this is making sense. Okay, so that's my first tip about composition and stuff. Another one I would say is, I'm just going back to UNUM because this is like my feed as it stands, is try not to obviously post the same outfit next to each other or above each other. So if I did like an outfit post but I had maybe 2 or 3 photos from this outfit, maybe one's a full length, one's a half shot, one's a face shot, but you can tell it's the same outfit. I personally don't like to put them next to each other. You can, like I have seen, which I do think is quite cool if you do want to post them next to each other, is do it in rows. So do like a whole row of one outfit, not the same photo, don't like do a whole row of all full length, but you could do like a whole row of the same outfit, and it could be like outfit full body, selfie, and then half like detail shot. That would look really cool if you can continue that. I'd say though that's going to be quite hard for you to keep up. Which leads me to my next point of having a feed that is easy to keep up with, and it's kind of easy to make most photos adapt to fit your feeds. Sorry if I look and sound ill, by the way. Obviously you can tell by my throat I have a cold cough situation going on. So, what was my next, I said this would lead on to my next subject, and now I've forgotten what it was. Yeah, so, making it easy to fit your feed, that was the question, that was the answer. I obviously incorporated the peachy pink tones into my feed. That was because I liked those tones. So when you scroll down, like this area here, it is a lot more pinky and peachy. I really love this section here, this bit. But that's because I'm really into those tones, so I wanted to incorporate them into my feed. And because I was into them, I would know that a lot of my photos would have that kind of thing in them. So pick things to incorporate into your feed that you like, because if you like them, the chances are you're going to be taking photos of them so it fits in, you know. I'd say like don't try and have like a black and white feed if you love wearing colour. It's just silly. And at the same time, don't try and have a really colourful feed if you love wearing black. It's just not going to work, you know. Personally, I love wearing black, and a lot of my outfit shots are black, but at the moment, as I said, I'm loving red, so I've incorporated red into my page. How to do that? it was like a one-off. Just try and have at least 3 photos, I would say, would work. So you can see here, like red photo, red photo, red photo. They've all got a touch of red in them, so it works. And then like up here, so like here for example, this photo down here has got a touch of red in my bag, and then this one I'm wearing red pants, and then this one I'm wearing a red t-shirt. So it just brings the red into your feed. Like, don't panic if you take a really cool photo and you're like, I really love this photo but I can't post it because it doesn't fit my feed. There's always a way you can fit your feed, and it's okay to drift a tiny bit from your feed for like a few rows of your feed. That's not a problem at all. Yeah, obviously, but when you see subtle changes throughout, even though you can see here, if I stopped at certain places, like here, look how much blue is in this. I do not have blue in my feed, but it works because I've incorporated it throughout that section of the feed, and then it just fades out. So it fades in and it fades out. So the top tips I would recommend, this is like a super rambly video, I'm really sorry, but when I start talking about this kind of stuff, I really am passionate about this kind of thing, and I just go on tangents. I just go talk, because I have so many ideas in this little head. It's actually not that bit small, it's quite a big head. But anyway, so quick tips this is. So tip number 1 would be to pick a filter that you love, and because this, if you're using the same filter on every single photo, your feed is going to look good even if you don't follow all those other tips I just rambled on about. So picking a filter that you love and using it on every single photo, and also just generally trying to edit your photos in a very similar way. Obviously sometimes you might need to brighten it more than others, or sometimes you might need to contrast more than others, but as a general whole, like, try and keep it to a similar way of editing your photos. Use the same filter, for example. And then tip number 2 would definitely be about the positioning and composition of your photos on your feed. So say you're a makeup artist, because I know that a lot of the questions I get are from makeup people that are like, I really want to have a cool feed, but all I post is makeup, like selfies, basically makeup selfies. How can I make this work? Because you don't want to open a page, I mean, some people do like to do that, but you don't like to open a page and just see like everything's a selfie of the same person. It's not that interesting to look at. So you might not gain followers from that, because if someone clicks on your page and just sees selfie after selfie, it's a bit like, So what I would recommend is do like selfie, so a full shot of the makeup, and then like a close-up of an eye, and then like a product shot, so like a detailed product shot, or even a flat lay. Flat lays are great for like filler photos, where you can not only advertise a brand or product that you're loving, but it's also going to break up your feed from your face. Personally, I suck at flat lays. I just suck at them. To be honest, it's because I have no interest in them. When I see a great flat lay, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good flat lay. But I just don't really enjoy creating them very much. My voice keeps going. But I do recommend Mariana Hewitt, if you follow her on Instagram or YouTube. She is freaking queen at flat lays. She's so good at flat lays. And I think I haven't actually watched it, but I did see that she did just do a video on how to get the perfect flat lay. So I would definitely recommend going and watching that, because I have watched her other videos on this kind of thing and they're always really good. So I'm not worried about recommending that video to you, because I know it'll be good, and her flat lays are freaking bomb. So go check her out for that kind of video. My camera just shut off, which means I've been talking for half an hour. So this is going to be a long video, but I think you guys don't mind that when it comes to these kind of videos. Where was I? Okay, so for example, if I go on to, I'm just going to put my phone back here. If I go on to VSCO Cam, let's just take this photo, for example. And, okay, so you guys know the filter I use is A5. Say I loved the way, let me choose one that I do like. I like J4. I think J4 is really cool. Doesn't that look cool? So let me just show you the difference. So J4 and A5, yeah? Versus J4. I love J4. I might even start using, I keep almost using J4 recently, but I haven't. But I do really like it. So say you wanted J4, okay? But you're like, I do really like that, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's go on to We Heart It. And I've showed you this before, I think, in one of my first videos. And then type in VSCO. Oh, J4. And then you'll get photos with this filter. So like you can see here, this is how it looks. Not that, that's an ad. So there's not many for that one. Let's try, let me just try typing it in Google so you don't have to get the app. VSCO, oh, can't spell. VSCO J4. J4 or J5? J4, right? Yeah. Go. So type it in there, go to images. Yeah, this is better. So then you can flick through, and this is all going to be images with that filter. So you can flick through and be like, do I like this? Do I really like this? So you can see like lots of different images with this filter. So you can get a better idea of if this is something you do really like. Does that, you know? And then like this one, you can see, for example, this is HB1. HB1 is cool. I used to use HB1 quite often. HB1 is really cool. So if you're looking for like a new theme feed and you're just not really sure what vibe you want to go for, just type in Google VSCO Cam filters, or look on VSCO Cam and see which one you like, you think you might like, and then type in VSCO Cam and that filter, VSCO that filter. And it's a really good way to just know if you really love the filter, because if you're going to commit to using it on every photo, you need to love it, you know. You can even, or to take it a step further, once you've found one that you like, you could then get, say, 6 of your photos and change them to this new filter and see how they look all together, and see if you like how it looks on your photos. Once you've committed, then go for it and just use that filter on every photo. You could use no filter and just edit colours and just keep it completely natural. That's totally cool. You could go for completely black and white. There's so many options of how your feed can look. I think the best thing is just to be yourself and be unique and just do what you love, because if you love it, then you're going to stick to it and it's not going to be hard. I do not find it hard to keep up with my feed layout at all, because every photo I take and edit just fits my page, because that's me. That is genuinely me. So I feel like if I change to J4, I could definitely make it work, because I love J4, but I haven't decided yet. Let me know in the comments down below. And I was also thinking, should I get rid of my borders? Maybe. There's another thing you can do for a cohesive feed. Mine is obviously square borders. You could have a thinner border, you could have a thicker border, you could have, I do like pages where they're like all different borders. So some are like thick borders down the side, some are square. I think Misguided did that for a bit. I think Misguided's page is a bit like that, or it used to be. So that's another way you can make your feed look cohesive, by using different borders to make it look good. Do all the same, do everything portrait mode and do everything straight down, do everything landscape mode and do everything straight down. There's so many different ways you can keep up with your feed and make it look cohesive, but I honestly do think it's one of the most important things about Instagram right now, because how Instagram obviously changed with the whole algorithm thing and stuff and whatever. I think it's more important than ever to have a pretty looking page, like actual feed, so that when people do click on your photo, they're then going to click, because this is how it works, right? Because if you think, this is probably what you do. If you see a photo, say in the explore page, you click on the photo and you're like, oh wow, that's really cute. Like, if you're a liker, I'm a liker, I like lots of photos all the time. If you didn't know that already, I like lots of photos, so tag me away. So you like the photo, and then I always click on the person to see their page. If I click on it and it's just a mess and I don't like the vibe, you just get a vibe off the page. If I don't like it, I'm just like, I don't even scroll. I'm like, oh no, not for me. Click off. That's how it works. So really, your main front page, your feed, is your advert. That is you saying, hi, this is me. That is your first impression. That is your, it's not the first impression, because obviously the photo is the first impression, but the photo is your first impression, is just, that's one photo. Your actual feed is your first proper impression of, hi, this is me, my name's Tash, and this is what I'm about, you know? So it is super important to do this. I really highly recommend it. Okay, I think that is everything for this video. I think. If you didn't know this about me already, some of you who've been with me for a long time probably already know this. I'm a super unorganised person. I'm just really unorganised in general, in every way of my life. So when I film these videos, I have the idea, I want to film it, I turn the camera on and I start talking to you guys. Personally, I would rather just talk to you like you're sitting here next to me and just ramble on about something I'm passionate about. I understand that some people think I talk too much, but this is me, I can't help it. I could probably sit down and plan this better and write out specific points and give you 10 top tips and make it on those quick snappy videos. I just can't do that. I'm just not like that. I don't know, I just can't do it. I've tried to write these ideas down, but it just comes out like this every time. So I'm sorry for people who think that I ramble too much, but I know that some of you love that I just talk and ramble, so I hope that's okay. So that's everything for this video. I am going to be doing a lot more in my Instagram series of videos. I've definitely got a couple more in mind. And I also want to do more app reviews as well of like photo editing apps that I use. I did do a Facetune 2 one once. But the other two apps I use obviously most are VSCO and Instasize. So I might do Instasize next because they've got a lot of new features on there at the moment. So I think I might do that one next. Because I'd say that's my main app. And also they've upped their games with their filters, so I could just totally just use Instasize. So yeah, so I'll probably do that video maybe next, I'm not sure. But give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, click that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!